I've emphasized how important it is that we get our story or the story of someone in our family recorded and put on video to save for a family legacy. You may be absolutely convinced that it's important and yet still put it off. Why do we do that? Why do we put off such a valuable exercise? Well, there's a couple of things that I've learned about this through the years that I've been doing legacy videos. Now, here are some of the reasons that we put it off. One, it seems like an end-of-life activity. Talking about doing a memoir or recording our life story in any fashion may seem like a final act. In some cases, maybe it is, but it sure doesn't have to be. Think of it instead as a what I've done so far story. It doesn't have to be a summary of your whole life. None of us know how long we're going to live. So we might as well tell our story on video and then maybe have an addendum to add to it 20 years from now. It's a great idea to record your life story at 70 or 60 or even 50 so that your kids and grandkids will have it to keep and preserve. Now, if you want to record an addendum to it in another 20 years, you've got that option. Another reason, we think we haven't done anything worth talking about. You may not have been governor or received an Academy Award, but you have lived. You have experienced life and have done things. You've interacted with people. You've learned things and you've accomplished things. You have opinions and lessons and stories to share. Your descendants will want to know about this. They'll want to know how you chose your career, how you met your mate, what you thought about world events. It's the ordinary things that ordinary people do with their ordinary lives that makes a story special and unique. You have a story worth telling. Another reason we don't do it is we don't know where to start. Telling our life story seems like too big a task. It can be overwhelming to think about telling your whole life story. You can't remember everything that ever happened to you, and you can't remember in what order it all happened. Well, no one expects that. All you have to do is start talking. Start talking about anything that happened in your life. Your first job, how you met your spouse, your favorite hobby, or what your mother was like. Once you start talking, other things will fall into place. It doesn't matter what order you tell it. Just start talking. Another reason we put it off is simply we're too busy. There's no doubt about it. For most of us, life is just plain busy. Even retirees lead busy lives these days. We always think we have more time for things than we actually do. Most of us have full-time jobs, school, or we just filled our days with other activities. We have a social calendar, errands to run, home maintenance, and on and on and on. Making a family history video is something that takes a commitment. You will have to set aside time. And you have to say, I'm going to do this at this time, and set aside that many hours to do it. Because if we don't, I'm sorry to say, it often becomes a case of, oops, Mom just had a stroke. Guess we should have gotten her story before it was too late. Another reason we put it off. We have things in our lives that we would not like to talk about. The answer of this objection is simply, don't talk about those things. This isn't an exercise in digging for dirt. If you'd rather keep your secrets, that's fine. We all have things that we wouldn't want to reveal to everybody. Don't worry about that. Just tell the stuff that you feel like telling. I also want to tell you that taking stock of your life, remembering where you've been, is a wonderful exercise for the mind and the spirit. You may begin to realize that you've come through some pretty tough times and a lot of good times, and you're probably the better for most of it. Allow your children, grandchildren, and future generations to share in those achievements. The life you've lived so far has been important. Again, Your story matters. Share it. Take the time to do it. Don't put it off.